Now, Donnacha Beacháin is a professor of international relations at Dublin City University. Joins us from County Clare in Ireland. Good to have you with us. So, how do you think most people are reflecting, whether they're in the Republic of Ireland or in Northern Ireland, on the Brexit situation? Are they breathing a sigh of relief that at least there is no border?
They are, but I mean, Brexit isn't a reason for celebration. I mean, this is a lose-lose situation, and Brexit was always going to be about minimising the damage that was done to Ireland. Nobody thought about Ireland when they were voting on Brexit, and Ireland was always going to be collateral damage. What the Irish government and the European Union have done over the last few years in the negotiations is try to minimise that, and I think it came as a surprise to many in Britain at how forthright the European Union negotiators were in defending Irish interests, because, of course, you couldn't give a better deal to a departing member than to an existing member, Ireland. So that's the reason why, as your previous reporter said, we continue to have no border on the island of Ireland. The new border, the trade border, will be between two parts of the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland and the Great Britain. And that, I think, will create a new momentum over the coming years. There's been a surge of passport applications from people in Northern Ireland for Irish passports because they're entitled to them. And with that, they retain the privileges and rights of EU citizens. And I think that economically and politically, you're going to see an increased momentum towards United Ireland in the coming years as a result of Brexit. And I think there's a supreme irony in that, because, of course, those who are advocating for Brexit in Great Britain and Northern Ireland saw it as perhaps triggering the breakup of the European Union. But I think far more likely is that it may lead ultimately to the dissolution of the United Kingdom, not only with Northern Ireland, of course, but also with Scotland. Both parts, of course, voted against Brexit.
And that brings us to the next point I was going to raise is, how soon do you think we might see more of a serious challenge now to the status of Northern Ireland? Because it is kind of already in a different situation from the rest of the UK, vis-a-vis the EU at least, right?
It is very much so. And I think what's important is to consider Brexit not as an event. I mean, that's obviously what we're talking about today because it's the 1st of January. This is day one. But Brexit is a process, and it will take many years for us to fully digest the consequences. And I think there will be a lot of pain involved for all sides. I mean, this is ultimately a divorce. And divorces are painful, but ultimately Britain still lives in the same neighbourhood from its former spouses. It still interacts on a daily basis, and it won't be able to separate, I think, in the way that it ultimately envisages. But in terms of the Irish dynamics, I think that people in Northern Ireland will feel most acutely the loss of EU membership, and the Irish government has been doing what it can to mitigate against the worst consequences. So, for example, it has extended the Erasmus student exchange program to citizens of Northern Ireland. The Irish government says they will pay for citizens of Northern Ireland to continue with that. Similarly, with health benefits in other parts of the European Union. But ultimately, I think, as I said,
so how do you think that will translate into the next political development in Northern Ireland? Do you think we're looking at demands for a referendum a la Scotland, or what?
I think so. This is the centenary of Northern Ireland's establishment. I mean, it was established, it must be remembered, against the wishes of the vast majority of people living on the island of Ireland. And, the Good Friday Agreement of 1998 was a conflict settlement that most people could live with. But Brexit has upset that and has re-emphasized sovereignty and constitutional issues in a way that has made the choice more stark for people now to remain in the United Kingdom or not, because now it means living in the European Union or not. So I think that, yes, I think you will see, like Scotland, a movement towards a border poll in Northern Ireland in the near future. And as I said, never has there been a greater momentum, I think, towards United Ireland than now.
Perhaps one of the greatest ironies for Brexiteers. Thanks so much, Donnacha, for your thoughts on that.
You're welcome.